Hello, everyone, and welcome to Seidat Admin Features webinar. My name is Emma Japuska, and I will be your host today. Maybe some of you have already talked with me, maybe not, but it's nice to virtually meet you also this way. I work with customers here at Seidat, so basically, my responsibility is to make sure that all of you are happy with Seidat and get the most out of it. What we're going to do today is go through how to use Seidat from admin perspective. So basically, if you are here to learn how to use Seidat on your daily basis, so how to present, share, and edit materials, I don't suggest that continue with this webinar. Go and watch our basic user training webinar instead. In that webinar, we go through all of the basic features of Seidat. But in this one, we go through the admin features. So what it means, we're going to go through how to manage your Seidat workspace, how to manage the users you have there, how to manage the brand, content, visuality, and also how to manage the presentations themselves. Then we're also going to go through analytics. So how to know if people are using your presentations, if people are viewing your presentations, and also other integrations that might be interesting. But before we continue with the actual user training, I'm going to shortly tell you what Seidat is in a nutshell, just to make sure that we are all on the same page. So Seidat in a nutshell, it is a cloud-based sales platform. With Seidat, you can create sales and marketing materials, presentations in other words. You can also present them with Seidat. Right now, I am presenting to you with Seidat, and in real life, we wouldn't even need the screen sharing here at all. So with Seidat, you can also present the materials you create with it, and then you can also share them. You are probably used to sharing any material as a PDF or just a normal PowerPoint as an attachment to your email. With Seidat, you can share everything with a link. So say bye-bye to email attachments. I would say that you can also analyze the materials, and also, if you want, you can sign the materials you send. So basically, you can use Seidat also as an offer or proposal tool. Now, why people use Seidat is the last reason that I have on this slide. It's the collaboration. So what we do at Seidat is that we enable collaboration between sales and marketing and management. How do we do that? It's by having all sales, marketing, internal, whatever materials in one place. So the idea is that everybody logs into the same platform and everybody can see the same materials and cross-utilize each other's materials. I know that if you're working in marketing, you probably never use a sales deck, but you might use a lead magnet. So you might have created a guide for your sales team. If you're working in sales, you're using a sales deck, but you never really touch the guide. In Seidat, we try to enable collaboration between all of these materials that are used during the sales process. So the lead generation guide might have some same content as the sales deck. And when they are all in the same platform, those are very easy to combine whenever needed. Of course, it might not only be a guide and sales deck, it might be guide, intro deck, sales deck, sponsor letter, proposal template, and the final agreement. Usually, all of these materials are utilizing same slides, at least at some point. Now, how do we enable collaboration between marketing and sales? It's with centralized material management. So usually it goes so that marketing creates materials for salespeople, and salespeople download them to their own computers and use them there. Now, let's say that the marketing creates a new slide, a simple new slide. They share it with the salespeople. They again download it to their computer. Maybe don't remember to rename their own presentation. Maybe they just don't remember to download the updated version, and then it's all mess. Everybody's using different materials, and nobody has really, from the marketing side, has really access to all of these materials. We'd say that we do it differently. So we have all the presentations in one place. Let's say that here we have presentation A, and here we have presentation B. I'm sorry, it says here in Finnish, esitys B and esitys A. Esitys is a presentation. This is my mistake. But yeah, let's say that we have two presentations here. And how do we now centrally manage these materials, these presentations? First is by brand settings. So in Seidat, you set up the fonts, the colors, and other textiles that you want to use in Seidat. So basically, if your brand font is Arial, you add Arial to your brand settings. If your brand font is Comic Sans, you add Comic Sans to your brand settings. If the font is not added to the brand settings, nobody can use it. So if your sales guys suddenly want to use a huge red Comic Sans font, they can't unless it is here in the brand settings. Now, other way to centrally manage the visuality of your sales and marketing materials is by using the image bank in Seidat. So in Seidat, you download all your background images, logos, icons, staff images, everything into the image bank. And now you can be sure that all of the sales guys or marketing or CEO even, that they are using good quality images that are approved by the one who is actually loading them into the image bank. Now, then we have possibility to also manage the content of a single slide. So of course, you will have fonts that are set in the brand settings, then images that you have put into the image bank, but then you can also centrally manage the text inside or the layout of the slide. So we do that with smart slides. This is something that other presentation tools don't offer. And what smart slides really are, they are slides that are centrally managed from one place. So you can actually have one slide used in 1,000 presentations. And once you edit the slide in one presentation, the edits will be shown in all of those 1,000 presentations. So basically, let's say that you have a slogan that says that we enable great sales results. Now you change the slogan, it's we really enable good sales results. And of course, you would like this slogan to be everywhere. It's your new slogan. So when you utilize Seidat and when you have smart slides, you only need to edit the text to one place and press save. Then the slogan will be changed to in all the presentations where this, for example, cover page is used, where you can see the slogan. I'm gonna go deeper into the smart slides a bit later when I jump into the platform. Lastly, about material management, we have iframes. So iframes are basically embedded websites. So if you want to embed, for example, your own website to a slide, we'd say that it is possible. So for example, if you're selling electricity, every day you change the price of the electricity. You don't have time to go to the presentations and change it there. You don't even have to. It is enough that you have embedded the website that says that, hey, today's price of electricity is this, and it will be updated in all the places where it's used in the presentations too. So here you see all of these different features combine easy centralized material management. I'm very soon done with my Seidat in a nutshell speech, but the last thing that I want to mention is how to integrate and automate different sales and marketing ecosystems. So you're used to using PowerPoints. You might know how people maybe open them if they are in your email, or maybe if they only open the email. It's not very clear data that you get from there. But with Seidat, you can just have your Google Analytics attached to the Seidat account, which means that you can clearly see which pages are performing well, which slides are the ones that your customers want to look at, and which they spend most time on. Of course, if you want to automate your material creation process, you can also integrate your CRM system to Seidat. So for example, you click on the CRM that create offer, and it will automatically copy your presentation template or proposal template in Seidat, fill it in with the information found from your CRM, and then bring the presentation back with a link to the CRM. So that's how you create proposal without actually going to the actual proposal machine, which in this case would be Seidat. All right, so this is very shortly what Seidat is in a nutshell. If you are more interested in the first parts, so how to create, present, and share materials, please watch user training webinar. That is the basic one. So basic user training webinar, you can find the recording on our website when you go to Seidat Academy. But now let's dig into deeper how to manage Seidat teams. And I'm gonna start by showing you guys how to do team management in Seidat. So I'm gonna jump into the platform. Here we have Seidat user training. So don't mind if there are weird names in Finnish. I have not 100% cleaned this workspace up, but it should make sense. So this is the front page of your Seidat workspace, and here you have all your presentations. If you don't yet have any team members invited to your Seidat team, you just simply go to users page, and here you can see everyone that is part of your team. When you want to invite new users, so the first user of the team to your Seidat, you click invite users and add their email address here. After that, it's going to ask the access level that the user is going to be added to your Seidat team with. And here we have the options. Now, these mean basically how much your Seidat users can edit materials in Seidat. So here we have them in the hierarchical, I don't know how to say that English word, I'm sorry, hierarchy order. Let's go with that. And the highest is brand managers. So brand managers can do the most in Seidat. They can edit the brand settings, they can edit the fonts that everybody is using, they can edit the centrally managed smart slides, and they can edit presentations all together. Next up, we have smart slide editors. These users cannot edit brand settings, so they cannot add Comic Sans to your font list if they want to, because they are not brand managers. But they can edit smart slide, and they can edit also any other presentation. Then we have editors. So these are usually sales guys, the guys who need to create materials, create presentations, create new slides, but they really don't need to touch anything that is centrally managed. So basically, they cannot edit the smart slides and they cannot edit the fonts. After that, we have these rights that are only for people who don't need to touch the contents of any presentation, or they don't need to create any presentation. So sharers can only log in to Seidat, see all the presentations you have there, and also share and present them, but they cannot edit what's inside of the presentation. Then we have viewers. They can log in, see all the presentations, and do nothing more. So they cannot even share them outside of the Seidat. And then lastly, we have no rights users. So these users log into your Seidat team, but don't see any presentations by default. So these can be, for example, resellers. They only have access to one specific presentation you have given access to, but otherwise they don't see anything else. This is very rarely used, but if you need it, please use it. Now, also, we have these administrational rights on top of the editing rights, and these are only given to people who should have possibility to invite users, delete users, edit billing details, see API keys, and so on. Usually in one Seidat workspace, there's only one or two owners, which are basically the owners of your Seidat workspace. And then few admins, so people who need to be able to add or delete users, maybe edit the billing details, see the API keys, and so on. The difference between admin and owner is that owner can make other people owners and also delete owners. They can also see all the hidden presentations. So each user has a possibility to create materials that are hidden from everybody else, but owner will always have the possibility to see them. That's very shortly about Seidat user management. Again, you will find all of this from here in the users page. Next up, we're gonna continue with content management. So as I told you before, content can be managed with Seidat in quite many ways. And we're gonna go through the content management by first looking into the brand settings. So basically, how do you set up your brand visuality to your Seidat? After that, smart slides, so the centrally managed slides, and lastly, image bank. If you have any questions while I'm talking, please feel free to interrupt me, or then just send a message on the Google Meet chat that we have over there. It's the, what is that icon? Some kind of speaking bubble. I don't know how to say it in English, but I guess you understand. But yeah, please send me questions if I'm going too fast, or if you have any questions related to these topics. All right, so brand settings first. You can set up the brand in your Seidat theme by going to here, brand page. Here, if you are just starting to use Seidat, this is the first place you want to go to. So first, you want to set up your brand into your Seidat workspace, so then you can create materials that look exactly like your brand. We always have default colors and default texts here that you can use, but of course, you might want to use your own. And you can start by adding the colors that you're going to use. So click on any of these colors and copy paste the color code from your brand book here. If you don't know it for sure, just add any color that you want. It's also okay if you're just creating your brand and you don't yet know which colors are going to be good. You can come back and edit these later on too. All right, so here we have set up a color palette for our Seidat theme. What this means is that when you put textiles here, you will select one of these colors to be the text style color. Also, when you create shapes on a slide, so for example, when you want to add a circle or a square or whatever star shape on your slide, you utilize these colors. These colors are also utilized when you create a brand color. So a brand color, sorry, background color. So when you put a background color to your slide, you decide one of these, and then you will have immediately your brand visuality color on your slide. All right, so those are the colors, and then we have the text style. So basically the texts that you will be using in your Seidat theme. If you're starting with Seidat, I suggest that please utilize the default text styles that we have already added to this page, and just change the font family and the color. So then it will be easier for you to utilize many text styles in the beginning. Of course, you can also go ahead and delete every one of these, but it means then that you have to go here, new text style, name it, title 100, select the font, select the weight, select the size, select the spacing, and then what is this? Line spacing, and then letter spacing, and then the color. So it can be a little bit of too much work if you do it from the beginning. So please just go ahead and edit these fonts that we already had there. Most likely you will just change the font family. Let's switch it to Libre basket wheel, and then the color, let's switch it to pink. Now, if you want to preview how this looks like, you just scroll down, and here you can see all the text styles that you have in your Seidat brand settings. Now, as you saw, I just changed this color from blue to pink, and we didn't see it from the background, but if I now scroll down, see, here we have two different title texts, and even though this is the same size, so both are size 80, the blue one is way bigger because of the font just happens to be wider than the other one. So be aware that when you change brand settings, look at the presentations that you already have in the Seidat workspace. Because if I now edit this text style to be this much bigger, it means that every single slide that was utilizing title 80 text will now have the title looking like this. So be careful with the brand settings. When you start with Seidat, it's okay to make a lot of mistakes with these, but if you already have a lot of presentations that have been shared to many customers or internally or whatever, when you change brand settings, be very, very careful so you don't mess up anybody's proposals or sales meeting materials. All right, I'm gonna switch this back to Oswald so it will make more sense in the future too. If you don't find the font that you want to use from this font family list, please contact us from this chat. We can add basically any font, Google fonts, Adobe fonts, also web fonts that you might already have on your website. They are not all visible here, but we can still add them if you just ask us to. All right, that was about brand settings, and then we will move on to smart slides. So just to recap, smart slides are slides that are centrally managed, meaning one slide can be in multiple presentations at once. As we can see, here I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. Here we have, for example, this slide, so the solution slide. Here it says it is used in 29 presentations. If I click it, I see which presentations has been using this slide. If I make edits to this slide, edit smart slide, the edits will be shown in each one of those 29 presentations immediately when I click save. So if I switch this to be here and click save, and then I go back, now this slide will be in each, now it will look like this in each one of these 29 presentations. From this Smart Slides tab here, you can manage all the slides that you have. So here you can sort them out if you want to find out in alphabetical order which are used, or then the least used slides or the most used slides and so on. So this is just to manage them in a big picture. But when you're starting to use Seidat, or then when you have already used Seidat and you want to create new smart slides, you can create them from normal slides. So I'm just going to create an example here. Here I have a random presentation, and let's say that this greetings page is very good. And maybe I want to make it a smart slide so it can be centrally managed. I go to the editing mode here, and then I click 3 little dots and then make smart slide. And now it is smart slide. How people can utilize this slide is by adding it to their own presentation from the slide bank. So here, when you add a new slide, you can click here on the lower left corner, add from slide bank. And here we have smart slides folder. So here we have all the smart slides that are in this Seidat workspace. And once I add them, I know that these will be centrally managed by one of the smart slide editors or the brand editors. Now, if I am a simple sales guy who don't have access to edit any smart slides, I can also convert these into being normal slides. So when I click 3 little dots here, unlink smart slide, make any edit, I'm gonna switch this to here because I think it looks better like this. As you know, it doesn't, but let's just fake it. Yes, and once I click save, now this will not be shown anywhere, because I first converted it to being normal slide. If I have also smart slide editor right, so I can edit smart slides, I can still do the same. So I can convert them into being normal slides, make edits, and then I can also go and convert it back to being smart slide. And now once I convert it back, it doesn't recognize that this is the same slide that I just edited. So now we will have a duplicate slide in the smart slide bank. If I go back there now, here and search, it was case story maybe? Yes, case story. So here we have the same slide 3 times. It doesn't make any sense to have 3 duplicates of one slide, because then if I want to update them, I would have to go to each one of these slides and make the changes there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge these 3 slides to each other. So I click on the little check mark here, that one, and then also this one. And now from the bottom of the page, I click replace all. And now it asks me which one do I want to stay. So if I go ahead and see what do we have here. Okay, this is clearly not the one that I want to be replaced with because it's not that pretty. But instead, I want to use this. So now once I click replace all, it merged these 3 slides into one slide. So now I can make edits to one slide and it will be shown in all of these 10 presentations. It is very easy, isn't it? Please ask questions if you have any. For me, this is of course very easy, but it might be confusing for you guys, especially if you are just starting to use Seidat. Moving on from Smart Slides to Image Bank. So Image Bank is here. You click on it and you see all the folders for images that you have in your Seidat theme. So in the Image Bank, we have a folder system. You can create new folders, as many as you like. This will be Emma's folder, as one would name it. And then you can start uploading images. Uploading happens from clicking upload button and then dragging the images to this view from your computer. If you have all your images in some kind of cloud service, so for example, if you're using Google Drive, Dropbox, or OneDrive, you can also attach them to your Seidat, and then you can easily add images from your Drive to your Seidat image bank. If we are just going to add one simple image from the internet here, we can also add a screenshot to this view, or add any image from my clipboard to this view. So basically, I'm going to show you, say that logo and image search. And if I just click here, copy image. So now it means that this image will be now on my clipboard and I want to add it to my image bank. I don't have to first go all the way to my computer settings or folders, uploaded it here, there, and then upload it to here. No, I don't need to do that. I just simply click Command and V. If you're using Windows, you click Ctrl+V and you copy paste it to this view. If you want to make some simple edits to the image, you can do it in this view too. So edit here. And the simple editing features that we have in Seidat are cropping, making it a circle, or rotation. So circle basically means that you can create any image so that it looks like a circle and not a square. That's another hard English word for me, so I'm sorry if I don't pronounce it correctly. But yeah, here now I want to this be this size circle image, and I click save, and this is what we have left. And then upload, and I will have it in my image bank. In Seidat, you will have to have every single picture or image that is used on your slide in the image bank. If they are not here, you cannot use them. Anybody who has at least editing rights can upload images to the image bank. So if your sales guys have editor rights, they can also add their customer logos or whatever they need to your image bank. I suggest that if your sales guys are very used to uploading images to their slides, create each one of them their own folder. So for example, I have here Emma's folder. Here I might have my own personal screenshots, maybe screenshots of some reports that nobody else cares about and so on. So I can just add them here and they will not be on anybody's face. So do that. In the image bank, you are also able to merge images. So let's say that you have a logo and then you make a new brand or you have a new visual identity for your brand and your logo changes. Well, if you want to have the logo changed in all the presentations where somebody has used your logo, you can just basically merge the old logo with the new one here in the image bank. So I'm going to actually try to find it was very easy, our old logo. So this one with the horns, I'm going to copy it and add it to this image bank quickly. Yes, here we go. So now we have Seidat's old logo and the new logo here. Let's say that this logo is being used in 1,000 slides. And for me to update this into the new one, it would be very hard to go through each of these 1,000 slides and change it there. But with Seidat, I don't have to do that. because I simply select both of them. So I'm clicking Command from my keyboard at the same time. If you have Windows, it's Control, and I select them both, and then again replace. Now I choose which image I want to stay on the slides. So the one that will be left is this, the new logo. Replace all, and now we have one image left, meaning that every single slide that had the old logo will now have the new one. It's very easy now to update your own logos, but also your reference customer logos, staff images, anything that you want can be replaced in the image bank. Something to understand about images in Seidat is also that if you delete an image from the image bank, it will be deleted from all the presentations too. So basically, if I want to now delete this, it might be on 1,000 slides, and then it will be just disappearing from all these 1,000 slides. So I clearly don't want to do it. If I want to first check if this is used, I can click on the image, then image info, and here I see in how many slides this specific image has been used. So 44 slides, maybe I shouldn't delete it, or somebody will be mad at me at least if I do it. All right. I hope content management is now easier to understand in Seidat. If you have any questions after the webinar, I am happy to answer them in the chat. So it will be either me or somebody else from my team. But there is a question. All right. Long is asking, can everyone delete images or just admins? Yes, everybody can delete images. So all the editors can add images and they can also delete them. And fetching images once they're deleted is very hard. Our development can do it in some situations, but try to tell your users that don't delete anything. So then it won't be too much pain for you guys to update the images back to the old one that was deleted. But yeah, everybody can delete images who can also upload them. Great question. Then into presentation management. So now we know how to manage the content of presentations and of slides. But now if we want to also manage the presentations themselves, how do we do that? There's two ways of doing that. One is access levels, and the second one is tags. I'm going to start with access levels. So some people might be scared that, hey, we have now said that everybody's presentation will be visible for everybody, and I don't want people to see my presentations. No, it won't be like that if you hide your presentations. So any presentation can be hidden from the access levels. And if you want to show your presentation to only your teammates, you can hide it from everybody else, but only leave your team the possibility to either share it, view it, or also edit it. And then the tags. So on the Seidat front page or the dashboard, we do not have folders like we have in the image bank. Instead, we have tags. Why do we have tags instead of folders? It is because we don't want any presentation to go missing. So for example, if I would like to now find my colleague's presentation from my Seidat image bank, where we have folders, I would first try to have to understand how their brain works. So maybe my colleague has put it in QR codes. No, not here. Logos, Seidat logos. I would have to travel all the way to find it. I wouldn't probably understand to which subfolder they are putting their presentations in. But now, when we have tags, I simply click my colleague's name here. So in this case, it will be Tim. And now I see all Tim's presentations. And if I only want to see Tim's proposal presentations, I have Tim tag selected here, and then also proposals. So now I only see Tim's proposals. If I want to go back and see everybody's proposals, I unclick Tim, and I only have or I have all the proposals that are visible to me in my Seidat workspace. If I want to see only my proposals, I click here again. Now we have 6 presentations showing, and then only my proposals that are in English. I click English tag, and now I only have one left. So this is the reason why we have tags instead of folders. It is way easier to collaborate because you can easily find your colleagues' presentations or presentations that are created for a certain need. So how do you use the tags? I already have mine here pinned on the dashboard, but before you can even pin them, you of course have to create them. Only brand managers can edit and add tags to the team. So the whole Seidat team or the workspace will have same tags visible here. If you are a brand manager, you can open the tag selector here. So click on this tag icon and then scroll down. You will have here edit tags, and once you click it, you can add tags here, delete them, and also put default team tags here. What we have in our Seidat team and what our customers usually have is names, so staff names or sales guys' names. Then languages, so we create materials in English and Finnish. We have both of them here. After that, you should add use cases. So sales presentation, proposal presentation, marketing, webinar guide, use case for the presentation. And then if you, for example, have a lot of products, you can also add the product names here. Now, as you can see, we have these little dots here and numbers here. Why? It's because we want to group same tags into one group. Tags are always in alphabetical order here, so that's why we put numbers to languages and then these little marks to names. So then we have all the names in one place and all the languages in other place. Then how to have the tags in your Seidat workspace is by first adding them here. And if you want, you can also set tag defaults to the whole Seidat theme that you have. So basically, here you can have, I'm going to show you. Here we have English, Finnish, sales, company, proposal, agreements, and marketing. Now that these are here, it means that every time a new user logs in to your Seidat team, they will have these tags pinned in the front page. If I then click on this Finnish, it means that this new user that logs in, it will have these tags pinned on the front page and also the Finnish tag selected. So basically it will look like this, and also this will be selected. So they will automatically only see now Finnish presentations. Everybody can modify which tags are pinned. So everybody can open the tag selector and then click on the pin icon next to the tag that they want to pin to their front page. So for example, I have pinned my name, my colleague team's name, and the 2 languages, and then proposals, company, and sales. If I would be using a lot of marketing materials, I would just click on the pin icon here, and then marketing tag would always be visible on me on the front page. Tags are something that should be used very well since the beginning, or otherwise it might become a little hard to add them afterwards. So it can be done, but when you start using Seidat, please be careful that you have tags in order and that you are using them since the beginning. If you have already started using Seidat, you had no idea about the tags and now you want to add them later on, it is also possible. But you have to do it by going to the presentation settings. So here we have this customer 1 presentation. I click edit presentation and then presentation settings here on the left. Here, this is the place where I can add any tags. Let's put, for example, Emma and then maybe English 2. And now it works so that Emma, English, what did I put there, sales and so on. Now it's visible here. But If you want to add tags, you have to go through each one of these presentations, go to the presentation settings and add them there. So that's why I suggest that please be careful with the tags since the beginning, because it's a bit hard to do it afterwards. But if you have done that, you can also click this untagged, so you will see all the presentations that don't have any tags on them. And a good thing about tags is that once you start using them since the beginning, they will follow. So if I have Emma tag on this presentation and I duplicate it, it will have the Emma tag here in the duplicate too. So basically, if I'm a sales guy who have, let's say the whole sales team have their own sales template presentation, once they duplicate it, they simply need to delete each, if it's not their name there, they delete it and add their own name, and now the other tags will stay there too. All right. At the same time, they can also edit the presentation access. So as I told, you can also hide your presentation from everybody else or hide them from your team and so on. And it happens from presentation access. So every time you create a new presentation, it will ask about the access level, or when you duplicate a presentation, it will ask about the presentation access, or then you can also just edit the presentation access by clicking on these little two guys here. Here first, we have the maximum team access, which means that how other people will see this presentation. If I set it to no access hidden, it means that nobody else will see it other than me. If I want to add a colleague here, I go add user. Evert will be my colleague today. So now everybody else cannot see it, but me and Evert are the editors of this presentation. So we can see it, we can edit it. I can also just let Evert only share the presentation, but not edit what's inside, like this. So 3 little dots and then share. That's how simple it is. And now that we have these access levels edited, I can see it here because this one is blue. And once I edit it, once I duplicate it, the access levels and the tags will follow. If you have any questions about the tags, please tell me. And also, Finnish spring is making its way to my webinar room. So I hope the sun that is on my face and on my body doesn't bother you. It's getting kind of hot, but it's okay still. I like the sun after a long, long winter. All right. So that is how you basically organize your Seidat workspace. And now we go into the most interesting stuff of this webinar. I know people are usually waiting for this part, and it is the analytics. So as I told you guys, you can have different kinds of analytics tools in your Seidat team, but you can also have in-app analytics. So this means that you can also see from Seidat how people are viewing your presentations. Basically, if you are already using Seidat, you have probably noticed that once you share any presentation, so share presentation, and you share it with a link like this, I created a new one, you have here this unopened. It means that this link has not been opened by anyone outside my Seidat workspace. So if I now click open link in incognito window, so now it doesn't recognize that I am not part of this Seidat team. It will show here viewed once. So you already inside Seidat, you can see how well your presentations are being opened. For example, if I send a proposal, I create a link, I copy the link and send it to the receiver. I also write here the receiver's name, so sent to Evert. And now I know that this link has been sent to Evert. And if it has been viewed once outside my Seidat team, it probably means that Evert is the one who has opened it. This only counts the amount of views. So now if you have, for example, 10 people who you would like to send the same presentation, and you would like to know which one of them opened it, you just create a new link for each one of them. So sent to Paulus, and now I know that, okay, this link was sent to Evert, he has opened it. This was sent to Paulus, Paulus did not open it. I can also subscribe to email notifications. So if I want to be notified immediately when Evert opens this presentation, I just click on this bell icon here and then add myself as the receiver of this email and update notification settings. Now, every single time Evert opens this link that I sent to him, I will get email that said that customer one copy, so the name of the presentation, has been opened by Evert and how many times. So usually this is enough already for sales guys. So if they just want to know if their proposals are being opened and so on, that is usually enough. But if you're working in marketing, for example, and you want to know the big picture, so you want to know which slides are performing well, which slides are the ones that your users or your customers are viewing the most, where they spend their time on, then you have to have more analytics. So how analytics and Seidat work is that you have Seidat here, then you add Google Tag Manager to your Seidat workspace. So Google Tag Manager is a container that consists of analytics pixels. So pieces of code that track your website. In this case, website is your Seidat presentation. The Google Tag Manager can be added to your Seidat settings. So I go here to Team Settings, and here I have my Google Tag Manager container ID. Then, if I want to add, for example, Google Analytics 4 to my Seidat Analytics, I would go to Google Tag Manager and then create a new Google Analytics 4 property that I would add to the Tag Manager. So Tag Manager is kind of a one stop where you have all the analytics tracking pixels that you want to have in Seidat. This works the same way as in your website. So in your website, you either have the analytics installed straight to the website, so you add a piece of code there, or then you have Tag Manager where you have other pieces of code in the Tag Manager. Simple as that. If you need help with adding Google Tag Manager or adding Google Analytics, adding HubSpot tracking, lead feeder tracking, and so on to your Seidat team, we can easily help with that. So if you're confused, no worries. Send us a message in our chat, and we will help you out how to get your analytics up and running. All right. So we have in-app analytics that are very easy to use. Then we have Google Analytics, how it looks like, basically this. So if you are using Google Analytics 4, this is somewhat the view you get. For example, of course, you will know from where your audience is, just like your website, how much time do they spend on each page and so on. But the interesting thing here is that you can see which of the presentations and which of the slides have been the most interesting. You see how many views in total, how many users, like unique users you have there, views per user, and how much time do they spend on the slide. So this is the information you get from Google Analytics. You can also have Google Universal Analytics, but this is getting old. It's going to expire very soon, so I don't suggest adding Google Universal Analytics to your Seidat team because in some months it won't just work anymore. So Google Analytics 4 is the one that you should be looking at. Please, if I'm going too fast, ask questions or interrupt me. And if you don't want to write, you can also open your mic and say it like that, but you can also write. All right, we have a question. Oh, San came. Can salespeople have the same analytics for each presentation they share? Salespeople will have or can have this kind of in-app analytics. So once they share a presentation from Seidat, they do it by themselves. So they go here, they, for example, share this, go to the sharing page, and they create the link themselves. And then they will have this analytics. So they will get notified when the presentation is being opened. But if they want to know which slide has been used, like this or like this, it means that they would have to have access to Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is rarely accessed by salespeople because it's not very that kind of place where salespeople want to go to, and they shouldn't either because it's not a nice place altogether. But if you want to show this kind of information to your salespeople, it is possible. You can basically create, or we can also create this for you if you're interested, a Google Data Studio. I think it's Google Locker or just a Locker Studio. Anyways, I might have the name wrong at the moment, but with this kind of data view, you can also show the same information, but more visually to your sales guys. So if you create a data studio view, it means that they don't have to have access to your analytics. Basically, this is just visualization of your Google Analytics. So usually sales guys are happy just to know if their presentations are being opened, but if they want to dig in deeper, this is also possible. All right. Then I said that yes, there are analytics, but I also thought that there's automations. So how automations work in Seidat? If you want to create them yourself, you can just use Zapier and start automating your material creation process. If Zapier is not something you know what it is basically a tool that will work as a link between two platforms. So for example, we have HubSpot and then we have Seidat. You can have a direct API integration between these two platforms, but it will require some coding work to be done. Now, if you don't have time for coding, you don't know it, or you don't have the budget for it, you can also use Zapier. So HubSpot here, Seidat here, Zapier here, in between, linking these two platforms together. What you can do with Zapier, this is an example. You can create proposals automatically. So for example, you have HubSpot in use or any CRM. You put your deal in the pipeline to a new pace. So from meeting to proposal. That works as a trigger for the automation. And what after triggering the automation, Zapier will, or HubSpot will tell to Zapier that, hey, now work. And then Zapier will tell to Seidat that, okay, duplicate a proposal template. So you will have a template for your proposals in Seidat, and that will be duplicated by the automation. Then the automation will fill the content. So in HubSpot, you would have, for example, your content, your contact person's name, deal size, products that will be added there, whatever information you have in your attributes in your CRM. Those will be also added to placeholders that are in the proposal template. Once those are filled by the automation will also create a link to the presentation and bring it back to the CRM, or maybe send it to you on Slack, or for example by email. So basically, with just changing the deal pipeline status from meeting to proposal, you can create a ready-made proposal to your customer without even ever logging into Seidat. So with Zapier, it is very easy to create. If you're not familiar with Zapier, I suggest that go to their website, create an account. I think they might even have free versions, and if not, they probably will have trial. Trust me, I don't get any provisions out of recommending them. But go there, select your CRM as the first platform, and then Seidat as the second one, and see all the possibilities. And once again, if you need any help with the idealization of this or how to do it, contact us. We are happy to help. Now, that is just an example how to create automatic proposals with any CRM or any platform. This happens through Zapier. But if you want to make a direct integration, or if the other platform that you are using doesn't support Zapier, we also have open API, meaning that we can also create custom integrations for your needs. One thing that could be also interesting to know is that what kind of analytics you get from your own Seidat users. So this is something that you can partly see from Google Analytics. So if you want, we can give you the user IDs, and then you will understand how your sales guys are using Seidat straight from your Google Analytics. But if you're not too familiar with Google Analytics, we can also give you this data. So we have the possibility to track your users, and we will know, for example, how much they present in a month. We will also know how much they edit presentations in a month. And with this information, you can be sure that everybody understands how to use Seidat, and also you can see who are the biggest winners of your team. So then you can start rewarding the most active Seidat users in your team. And I am very sorry about this, son. I'm trying to lean forward so it doesn't come to my face, but you cannot always work with nature. But yeah, so if you're interested in knowing your team activity, just contact us. I will have access to this data. At the moment, unfortunately, we are not able to give it to you straight in the app, so you have to kind of use us in the between. But I am happy to give you this data, so we will know how your users are using Seidat. If you have any platform in mind, most likely we can do at least something with it. CRMs, analytics tools, for example, Google Analytics, Lead Feeder, so on. All of these can be integrated with Seidat. Once you get an idea, contact us and we will tell you how it works. We also have a direct integration between Seidat and Pipedrive. So if you have Pipedrive as your CRM, you can just create the automation very easily. So if this is also something that is interesting to you, contact us and we will help you out more. We do also have a support page, which is full of Pipedrive Seidat integration articles and also basically answer to any other question you might have. But yeah, that was basically it from today. I hope that after this our webinar, you will understand how to manage your content. I just went to the sun, I don't care anymore. How to manage your content in Seidat, how to manage your users, how to manage your presentations in Seidat, and how to maybe create automations or use analytics in Seidat. If you think that you would now also like to know better how to present with Seidat and how to share materials, please watch our user training webinar. So once you go to our website, seidat.com, go to Seidat Academy, and from here, webinars, and you will find basic user training webinar. I think it might be on the second page. Unfortunately, I have to scroll down, but here, Seidat user training basic webinar. So here we will learn how to use Seidat in daily basis. I hope this was helpful, and if you still have any questions, I am here and happy to answer them all, even though the sun is hot and I'm burning, but it's fine. I still have time, but if you're done, thank you for your time, and I hope to see you in the next webinars too.